Right. Good morning, or good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us. It's great to see so many of you joining us today, especially as we mark Stress Awareness Month in April. For the eagle-eyed amongst you, I'm not Nikki Peacock, who was down to host there. Nikki's otherwise engaged, so I'm stepping in to take her place. My name is Peter Ashcroft. I'm the Director of Services here at the Printing Charity. I know today we've got quite a lot of new people joining us on the webinar, and that's great. That's what this is all about, learning about what the charity does to support the sector and what we can do to help support you and your employees. After all, people are the greatest asset we've got in our sector, so we want to look after them. And for those who are new to the Printing Charity, a quick reminder, we are your occupational charity, set up like all good ideas in a pub just off Fleet Street back in 1827, nearly 200 years ago next year. And we were set up to support printers and their families when they were facing hard times. And we've evolved over time and we help many more people today. But what really matters today is this. If you work in print, packaging, paper, or the wider allied trades in the sector, we're here to support you, we're here to support your teams, and we're here to support your employees. And that support is completely free of charge, both for the individuals that need it and for the businesses that they work for. As the charity, we provide practical, financial and emotional support, and we're focusing on talking about how we can support emotional well-being across the sector today. And we do that through our helpline. Whether we're helping employees or their immediate family members, that helpline can provide in-the-moment emotional support 24 hours a day, 365 days of the year. We're here providing up to 6 sessions of structured counselling from BCAP accredited counsellors if it's needed, and we provide specialist support for issues like stress, anxiety, bereavements or difficult life events. And for those people who don't want to call the helpline, we've got a range of self-help resources available on our website so people can access support however they want to in their own time in a way that suits them. And we can even provide critical incident support on site when things go wrong on site and your staff need that extra little bit of help. So as I say, the hardest point to make to people, and the part that people find the hardest to believe, is that we provide all of the support completely free of charge, both for the businesses and the individual. So what I'm going to do now is just play a short video about the services that we offer.
We are the Printing Charity. For almost 200 years, we have been providing practical, emotional and financial support for people in print, paper, packaging, publishing and graphics, whenever we are needed, throughout careers and into retirement. We know life doesn't always go to plan. Our free confidential employee helpline provides in-the-moment emotional support 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We provide grants to help people in our sectors who are struggling with an unexpected expense or everyday essentials, whether they're in work, unemployed or retired. And we signpost people to specialist resources and services when needed. Our retirement living is for people of reduced financial means who are retired from our sectors. They're friendly, welcoming and supportive almshouse communities where help is on hand if it's needed. And through our annual Rising Star Awards, we provide training and development grants to help the industry's emerging talent shine, equipping them with the skills they need to build a successful career in our vibrant, ever-evolving industry. From practical and emotional help to financial assistance, supporting skills development and retirement living. Remember, we're here for you.
So that's just a little bit about who we are and what we do. Over the past few years, we've built a community of about 500 businesses who help us share this support across the industry, making sure that employees know about their occupational charity and the fact that it's there for them and what it is that we do. And I'm really pleased today to be joined by one of those partners, Matt Boam, who brings over 30 years of experience in print and packaging. Matt, welcome. It's great to have you with us today.
Thank you, Peter. Great show reel. Really informative. I like it. Thank you.
So Matt,
Um,
if I could start by just asking you a little bit about your business and about you and who you are.
yeah, okay. So Print4 was established in 1991. Rapidly became known throughout the industry for being reliable. It was in the days that print was the go-to industry that everybody wanted to go to when they were leaving school, which was fantastic. So, a great time to start a business. We manufacture all types of printed packaging, producing litho, digital, wide format, all with an environmental conscience. We work with blue chip brands all the way through and startups. And we do love to support a startup business. It's quite exciting to do that. I've personally been at Print4 for more than 30 years. I don't want to go into how long because it makes me feel extremely old. I'm fortunate to have been part of a management buyout in 2012 and became sole owner in 2018.
Brilliant. So I think if I've got this right, you first sort of came into contact with the printing charity and sort of joined our community of businesses uh, nearly 5 years ago, November 2020, I think it was. So what was it that prompted you to want to get in touch with the printing charity and show what support we offer to your employees?
I suppose it started with we're based in Nottingham, and we're proud of being based in Nottingham because it's a hub of vibrant charities and award-winning universities. So we know firsthand the incredible impact that businesses can have when they step up to support meaningful community groups. And it's something that Printful's always done, but we're doing it now in a more, I would say, a more meaningful way. And it's something that we keep right at the front of the radar for us, that we need to support these local companies and diverse range of charities. And we're positive about making positive difference. And that's where the printing charity came onto our radar. I think you said it was around 2020. Can't really remember the dates. But because the printing charity is supporting our industry, it made total sense that that was another charity that Print4 wanted to support and be part of.
Brilliant. And since you've been engaged with the charity since, let's say, since about 2020, how have you worked alongside the printing charity to help raise awareness of the support that we can offer to your staff and employees?
I think it starts with, first and foremost, anything that's shared by the printing charity, it gets reshared internally. We do that via email, we do it by notice boards. But the thing is, we also have a duty of care to our retired workforce, and that's something that we're really proud of. So the information doesn't just stop within the business with current employees, it's also shared with that wider group that, that used to work for the business. One of the standout moments that I always remember is an ex-employee who wanted some advice on setting up her own cleaning business. She decided it was her turn to get out of the industry for whatever reasons. And she dropped a call into me and said, look, I'm really thinking of doing this. And it's great to see how a business can develop and grow, but I've not really got the tools to do it. So we had numerous chats, and I gave her my ideas and my thoughts and my opinions. And then ultimately, in the back of my mind, I thought, maybe this is something the printing charity can support her with, and put her in touch with the printing charity. And what I can say is she's self-employed. And it was down to the printing charity to support her along that pathway, which is amazing.
I mean, that's brilliant. I mean, a lot of people don't realise, as well as the emotional support that we offer, the helpline also has a practical element to it. So there is a team of practical advice and information advisors at the other end of the telephone, available Monday to Friday, 8 o'clock, that can provide that level of practical advice on a range of topics, whether it be financial or money issues, employment law, legal issues, business issues. So that's the sort of stuff that we can do. And it's great that you're able to push that to your retirees as well, because again, and something I want to stress about our support, it's not just for people who are in the industry today, it's there for life. So it's there to support them on their first day at work, on their first day of retirement, throughout the rest of their life. It's always there. So really great. Thank you from me for pushing that to your retirees as well. It's something that's really valuable. So I know, Matt, from what I know about your business, that you're a business that really values workplace wellbeing and the wellbeing of your employees. But I imagine it's been a bit of a journey bringing people along to that. What's it been like over the last 5.5 years trying to get that embedded into your workplace?
I like to think our starting point was doing things informally. So, the majority of businesses I would like to think do the Teams meals, social events, stopping production, down in tools and having what we call like a factory feast. All of which in our own minds started to build connections and reduce stress, improve morale. But then during COVID, realization hit really hard, and it gave us that opportunity to maybe reset and improve, because well-being wasn't just nice to have, it shifted more to a necessity. So we enforced that, talking about former employees, so we reinforced talking about former employees and the retired workforce, and we always bring them into conversation. So that could be in a production meeting, it could just be general group chats with the guys and girls on the shop floor. So all the teams know that anybody that's actually worked for Print 4, and it's crucial this is, that they see how former members of staff are valued and respected during their time with us. We encourage conversations around stress. We recognise well-being as part of daily working life. We're an inclusive business, and we do things not just for the likes and the reshares on socials. It's not about that for us. And in fact, I don't think we share enough that we should possibly share on LinkedIn and Instagram and the social channels. But I think, sorry.
I was just saying, we're always happy to help with that, Matt. One of the things that we're able to do, as you well know, is we do provide all the businesses that sort of join up and become part of our wellbeing community, our helpline partners, with information on a range of topics, whether it be Time to Talk Day or mental health, World Mental Health Day. We provide all resources that people can take and make use of in their workplaces.
It's interesting you say that as well, Peter, because so our last SEDEX audit was December of last year. And we passed it without any observations, no non-conformances, which gives you that sense of pride in everyone internally. And the auditor said that more companies should follow our lead and prioritise staff over profit, and that we're a true example of like a supportive business. Now, what was quite interesting is that they have like one-to-one meetings with random staff. Nobody knows that they're going to get taken in. Everything's transparent. No names are shared within the business, so they get that time to say exactly how they feel. And it was just great to know that being supported by the printing charity, that name came up a few times within those meetings with SEDEX. So it's good to know that we promote the printing charity, and it's not like it's just falling on deaf ears. It's actually people value that you're there.
That's really great to hear. I mean, this wasn't one of the questions that we prepared, Matt. Sorry to cut you off, but having chatted to your relationship manager, because we do have a relationship manager for all of the businesses that become part of that community. Marianne was saying that you do a lot of different wellbeing initiatives in your workplace. I believe you keep bees, you've got wildflowers, you've done yoga, all kinds of little things to help staff wellbeing. Are you able to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I think it's an interesting one on like the initiatives that we actually do. There's quite a few, to be honest, and I don't really know where to start on it. So you said yoga. We don't do yoga. It's actually Pilates, but there you go. But that's just the starting point. And the reason that we do on-site Pilates, that's not just for office staff. That is for the whole of the business, from top to bottom. Will be made aware that we've got a qualified instructor coming on site. If you want to be part of that Pilates teaching experience, you're more than welcome to do it. Now, that's not a situation where they do it in their own time. They don't have to clock out. That's on our time. It's on our watch. Because at the end of the day, Pilates is excellent for building core strength. We've got manual workers, enhancing flexibility. It's ticking the box. Improves postures for those that sit in the seat quite often. It's low impact. It's great for mental well-being, and ultimately gets different teams to work together. So that's quite nice. And it's suitable for all fitness levels. So we haven't done the yoga, we do the Pilates. Another initiative that we do that we call TTIIM, bit of a mouthful. So it's abbreviated time to invest in me. These are days off of kindness, time to invest in yourself. So staff members can nominate any individual in the business that they feel has excelled, come up with an idea, had a tough week. It just needs, like, they need a break. So what it's about is they get nominated, and then at short notice, they will have a small discussion in an office space to say, look, you have been chosen by one of your peers. You don't need to come into work. The day will be given to them, and it's a time that they can invest in themselves, maybe read a book, go for a walk, do what they want to do. But it gives them that, I think, that support, knowing that their peers respect what they do. So it's not just you can nominate someone in your own department, it's throughout the entire business, and it works really well. Works that much that you actually get people, is it my turn now? Am I getting a day? So it's quite a nice one. But there's lots of other things. So going back to the bees, we decided that we were going to turn the rear of the building, which is attached to a nature reserve at the back. We're extremely fortunate for that we thought, all right, okay, so what can we do with this land? And we got teams together, and we prepared the land, sowed seeds, wildflower seeds, and we did that again to improve mental health and well-being, so that staff could see what their efforts was producing. Tracks biodiversity, it attracted a lot. And then that's when we realized that, okay, we can go one step further now. Bees are in decline. So let's get some beehives on the back as well. Those beehives turned into what they call supersets, and they're about 5 feet tall. So yeah, we've got a lot of bees, and they're very busy after yesterday's awakening with the warm weather.
I mean, I really like that sound about time to invest in me initiative, because that gives people a feeling, I guess, of not only being valued by their colleagues, but also space then to go look after themselves and their own well-being. So that's sort of double-headed there in terms of the outcomes that they get. That's really good.
Yeah, exactly.
I imagine over time you've seen an impact as a result of all of these different initiatives. What sort of differences have you seen in the way that workplace well-being is prioritised in the business and amongst the staff?
I suppose if I start with myself, so I normally arrive into the business between 6 a.m. 6:30. I just like that time of day before the phones start ringing and the emails start to come in. So when I arrive at the business, the first thing that I do before I even take my bag off my back is my priority is to walk straight onto that shop floor. And I speak to every member of staff that's on the shop floor. Do they need anything? Have they got any issues? Are the tools that they need to do the job working okay? And ultimately, just have that chat. What did you do at the weekend? What did you do yesterday? Was birthdays, anniversaries, all those type of things. And it's not just a case of doing it because it's ticking a box. It demonstrates you genuinely care, because it's effective listening from my behalf, that if somebody tells me they're doing something in a few days, I will remember that. And then I'll ask them in a few days' time, how did you go on? What did you do? Was it a good experience, etc. And then from the shop floor, I come upstairs, I unlock my office and a few of the doors that are locked upstairs. I tend to put the kettle on straight away. The production manager will normally be arriving around at that time, or he might even be in before me, to be perfectly honest. So I always try and make that first brew of the day and take it over to him also. Don't always make the first one, but I do try. And then we do the same thing. We have a bit of a chat. Is he okay? Does he need anything? Has there been any issues from the previous shifts? Is there anything that we need to talk about? And actually, is he okay? So we tend to focus on connection and belonging is how I normally talk about it. And it's one of the reasons that I operate an open door policy to my office. So the door over there is always open. The only time it's ever closed is in a situation like this, which is few and far between for me, to be honest, because what I don't want is that door to create a barrier. I want everybody in the workplace to feel safe, to know that we support each other, which leads to lower stress through support systems and stronger teamwork and higher engagement, to be honest. And it does work, because you'll often daily have somebody that will, they just walk in, no need to knock or anything like that, walk in and they'll sit on a chair over there and have you got 5 minutes? And if it's something they want to talk to me about that's personal or private, we close the door and we'll talk about it. If not, and it's just a general, I want to get something off my chest, then that's what we do. And the managers are also, they do the same type of thing, and they'll go to a breakout room and they'll chat to whoever wants to have a bit of a discussion. We need to make people aware that they feel safe and supported within a business.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, that's that visible leadership, isn't it? Setting the example, setting the culture, and everything follows from that. I guess if you're in a business that can't do what you've done in relation to the Pilates or the P's or the taking care of people day, if I may shoehorn it in, the next thing they can do is promote our helpline to their staff to demonstrate that there is a support net for them and that they are thinking of them and they do care. So that's really great. I mean, what I would say is we've got a lot of people on the call today from businesses perhaps that aren't part of our wellbeing committee, that don't necessarily promote the helpline or the work of the charity, and some may not have dedicated much to workplace wellbeing at the moment. What would your message be to them to take away from today's call?
Sign up to the Printing Charity, listen to webinars like this one from other industries, not just from the printing sector. Take snippets from different businesses and try and encompass them into your own. But definitely start with the Printing Charity. It supports Print4, and that's again throughout the business. And for myself, there might be something that I want to check off with somebody, and I can turn to the Printing Charity. They're a good outfit. They do what they say on the tin. I definitely say that's the starting point. Subscribe.
Thanks, Matt. That's really great. It really sounds like you've got a great place to work there, and thank you for your contribution. Thank you for your contribution. Hopefully all that effort and wellbeing pays back in terms of staff happiness and retention as well. So thanks for taking the time today. That's been great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Just before I throw out to questions, one of the things we haven't touched upon today is the other side of the charity's work, which is our financial support to individuals. Each year, we were able to provide hundreds of means-tested grants to individuals who are facing unexpected costs or unaffordable essential costs. And that can range from anything from helping people to replace essential household goods to helping them with essential living costs at home. And of course, we do this because we know that workload pressure, financial issues and problems can be a real cause of stress and poor well-being. And our ability as your occupational charity in the sector to be able to reduce some of that burden through a grant is something I think is a really unique part of what we do, and something we're keen to ensure more and more people in the sector realise that we can help with. So just before I finish and throw open to any questions that people have got, for those of you not in workplaces that are part of our existing wellbeing community, I would ask you to heed Matt's advice and ask yourself, why not? What have you got to lose? We're completely free of charge, but we're here to support your employees. And as I said earlier, it's completely free, both to the individuals and the businesses. We were set up by printers to support fellow printers, and that's true today as it was 200 years ago. If you haven't already signed up for our newsletter, please do so. The QR code on screen, if you scan that with your phone, will sign you up for the newsletter. What I will say as well, because you signed up to the webinar, we do have your email address. So we will be in touch. We've got a team of relationship managers across the UK. We've got Rob in the south, Marianne in the east, Gary who covers the east and Scotland, and Nikki who covers the west. And they'll be in touch to talk to you about the resources we can provide you to your workplaces so that you can promote the charity and support that we can offer to your employees. And we're more than happy as well to come out to workplaces and talk to employees whenever that's required as well. So thank you for joining us today. Have we got any questions, Liz?
No, there are no questions in the chat or in the Q&A, but I did have a quick question for Matt, if you don't mind, Matt. Aside from, obviously, I mean, the range of initiatives that you've shared is fantastic. That sounds absolutely brilliant. But obviously, as Pete has mentioned, it can feel a bit daunting sometimes to kind of push forward with a workplace wellbeing initiative. So my question is, apart from obviously joining the printing charity, and we'd be delighted to see everybody who's not already signed up to sign up today, what would be one simple thing that you would suggest as an initial action to help support workplace wellbeing?
One initial thing, I would say that depending on the size of the business, although the size shouldn't really be an excuse, don't have any divide from office staff to shop floor staff throughout the business. Everybody should be classed as equal, learn to respect each other, because actually, if you bring all the different teams together, you'll find that you'll have a healthy workforce that get collaborating on ideas. They'll come up with ideas and suggestions. It gives them probably another arm that they can reach out to and talk to if they've got an issue, because they might not feel comfortable in approaching certain individuals. So I would try and break down any barriers, any divides that you've got within the business.
Thanks very much, Matt. That's fantastic. Thank you for that. I've just got one quick question. I think we've got enough time. The question from Sean is, if someone is made redundant, can they still access the helpline?
Yes, the helpline is there for anyone throughout the rest of their lives. As soon as, I mean, we make the number now as publicly available as possible. You really just need to have worked in the sector. And then it's with you for life, and your immediate family members as well. It's completely accessible. Same with our financial support. The only thing I would say about financial support is the individual has to have worked at least 3 years in the industry, not necessarily consecutive years or at the same business. But when it comes to the helpline, as long as they've done a day, I guess that's all that matters. That helpline is there for them for life.
Thanks, Pete. There are no further questions in the Q&A.
In which case, we're spot on 12:29. So thank you everyone for joining us today. Thank you, Matt, for taking the time.
Welcome.
And we'll let everyone disappear back off to their lunch hours. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.